Hi guys, this is Thunder E from Booredatwork and welcome to another battle vid. It's been a while, but here's a pretty good one. Today's battle is between the Nokia X and the Moto G to find out which is truly the best budget phone on the Android slash Nokia Windows slash, yeah, best budget phone out there. So let's take a look at these two devices, starting off, of course, with the Moto G, which is the, I guess, competitor here. But the Moto G came out last year. It is a budget smartphone, one of the first few budget smartphones running Android 4.4 from Motorola. Comes with a couple of cool features. It's got a quad-core processor in here, so it does have a quad-core processor, pretty snappy. You've got a gig of RAM, and you also have this 5-megapixel camera in the back with LED flash. It's got that Moto X type build. You can see how the side here with the power button and volume rocker, tilted front face, 4-inch display, 720p display. You can see the LED flash there. The notification light as well as the front-facing camera. There's no expandable memory. You can get either a 16 or 8 gigabytes. 8 is I believe 180 and 16 is 200. I could be wrong with that 8 gig price, so do correct me. But that's the general makeup of the Moto G. Again, it's running KitKat. Now here is, of course, the Nokia X. The Nokia X is that device that pretty much is a hybrid device in a sense. From Nokia, runs Android 4.2. It is termed to be a budget device. Retails for 89 euros, so roughly around $110, $120, I think. You can find it on eBay for 150 and up, so that's around the price range you actually find if you're trying to buy this device. Has a 3-megapixel rear camera at the back. You've got a volume rocker, power button, 4-inch display. It's got one single button in the front. It's powered by a dual-core processor. It's not a quad-core. It's also not a Snapdragon processor with 512 megs of RAM. So let's take a look at these devices here, and let's talk about hardware first. So it's a battle vid. In the hardware department, you know what? I have to give it to the Moto G. The Moto G clearly has just more superior hardware. You've got a quad-core processor. You've got a gig of RAM. You've got a better camera at 5 megapixels. Spec-wise, everything bumped up pretty much here has been within the Moto G. So that aspect there is quite solid. So let's take a look at the camera, since we talked about the cameras for both devices. And I'm just going to slide and unlock the camera here. So the Moto G here has a, like I said, it's got a 5-megapixel camera. I can use the Moto X here to take photos, and I can take photos. You can see it's pretty snappy. I can switch to video and record video as I want to, and I'm just going to slide over. I have to set the rotate back again. You can see the videos there. That's a battle vid I did in the past. Let's see. And anyway, let's go back. So that's the camera there on the Moto. The Moto G. Now, if we go into the Nokia X here, it's got a 3-megapixel camera. What I do like, even though the camera isn't that robust, is that it's actually got quite a couple of features here in the camera. If you can see, if you go into settings here, you've got anti-banding, ISO, noise reduction, phase sharpness, level 2, picture size quality, shutter sound, all that stuff. You can change your white balance, all that, as well as this. Now, in the Moto G here, if we slide this open again, you do have camera settings, and they're more basic: HDR, flash, solo, that's to focus, and snap. No white balance change or nothing. So in terms of camera, basically it's kind of a tie. The camera quality lands with the Moto G, but the camera interface is actually much better, I think, more robust with the Nokia X. All right, so these are both Android devices, and yes, I'm going to compare operating systems because they both use Android OS. So press down, go home. But as you can see here, clearly there's a difference here between both devices. The Moto G runs basically Android 4.4, close to stock is what you find on the Moto G. And you've got that traditional Android experience where you can slide through home screens, you can go to your app tray, check out applications, you can add widgets, things like that. And it's, you know, you've got that notification bar on the side and the top. So on the top there. Now, the the Nokia X here has a different Android experience. It's a forked version Android, and it's running Android 4.2. So the difference is a little bit different. What you do have here is a tile-like experience, kind of like what you find in the Lumia Windows phones, where you can actually select a tile. You can increase the size of a tile, you can reduce the size of the tile, or you can take it away if you want to. You can also move the tiles left and right. So you've got that experience there. You've also got, you don't have a notification center, but you've got the fast lane, and the fast lane basically is your notification or your recent activities. So all the emails you showed up on the top will always reside here in the recent there. So if I get a tweet, it will reside. Photos, things like that will all reside here, all the way back to the first thing I did. You can see it actually stores it all the way through, which is quite interesting and quite different. Now, in terms of software layout and feel and look, I have to again pick the Moto G. Why? Because, well, it's running stock Android and it's a very smooth, almost seamless experience. Here with the Nokia X, you've got a forked experience that's trying to replicate something that Nokia has done very well in the Lumia line with this here on Android. And I'm not sure if it's the software issue or a processor issue where you can see some lagginess to it in terms of going. So if you decide to, like, jump into application and switch application, and if we start loading up more applications, you'll find that it runs a little bit slow. So I have to give that definitely to the Moto G altogether. So we've looked at the camera, we've looked at the hardware, we've also looked at the software. Let's just talk about general experience here. With the Moto G, you know what you're getting. You're getting a straight up Android experience, and it feels just like Android. With the Nokia X, what I got here was an experience that felt like they were trying to replicate something they've done on a different operating system on here, and it felt a little janky. It felt like you're mixing two things, actually three things. It felt like you got this Windows tile experience, the Azure Fastlane experience, and also bringing some of those Nokia experiences in together. So it really felt like a very hybrid device, and which is why I stuck with the wallpaper here for X-Man. If anybody knows who X-Man is, basically he's the son of Cyclops and a Jean Grey alternate clone, I believe. So it really doesn't feel correct because it just doesn't fit the basis properly. So with that said, my winner of this battle vid is quite simple. It's the Moto G. For a device here, you have a device here that retails for either 180 or 200. You've got a quad-core processor, it's quite snappy. You've got a decent camera. The only disadvantage to this device is no expandable storage, and that's where this has the benefit here. So I forgot to mention one more category. The Nokia X does have dual SIM, so you have dual SIM, and you also have expandable memory up to 32 gigabytes. So that's the area where the Nokia X does shine, but the overall experience in terms of hardware, in terms of software, in terms of use case scenario, the Moto G wins. And that's the budget smartphone between the two. I'll definitely pick the Moto G because it is even though it's slightly more expensive, or depends on where you buy the Nokia X, you've got a much more better Android experience altogether as a whole. So this is Thunder E saying thank you. If you guys have any questions or any comments, or you think the Nokia X should have won, or you think, me calling it X-Man was just a dig at it instead of this lovely Venom, Spider Venom female wallpaper, let me know. Anyway, leave your comments, like this video, share this video, and favorite this video. So this is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment.